a bunch today. I'm going to be giving you a worksheet. And when I get through a few of these slides that you're going to be going through as we do this, it's going to be awesome. But people talk about all the time how to find your ideal customer, right? I want to help, and that I literally see that is one of the most complicating parts people have is their ideal customer. So my goal today is to give it a little bit of a spin and help you. So my goal by the end of day one is that you have a breakthrough and it just clicks. Like that is literally the goal that I have with you today. Because here's what's going to happen. If we can get that to click and you literally know who your ideal customer is and how to start creating content for them, day 2 and 3 are going to be fire for you. First of all, I'm having a guest come on for both days, by the way, and he is not only going to help you create content for your customer journey, he's going to show you how to use AI in a way nobody's ever shown you, by the way, that you're going to love. He's going to teach you that as well. So tomorrow is going to be like more of that positioning. And then day 3 is literally going to be showing you the most amazing, even if you're a beginner with AI strategies, okay? You're literally going to get off of here after day 3, have a complete 30-day content calendar. But this is so important. Hey, Reese, can you call Landon? That was him. This is so, my daughter's helping me today, by the way. So if you guys got on the beginning and you heard me say, love you, that was me talking to my daughter, by the way. Oh my goodness. And so anyway, see, we're real live right now. So that's my goal today is this just makes sense? Because if this makes sense, then tomorrow is just going to be like butter. It's going to be smooth and it's going to be easy. And by day 3, you're going to have your complete content and it's going to simplify things. By the end of day 3, I can promise you, if you actually do the activities, by the end of day 3, you're going to love creating content. You're going to have fun. It's going to be a completely different meaning. It's going to go from what do I say? What do I share to, oh gosh, you're going to become addicted to want to create content because you're going to have, I can promise you, you will have that shift in the next 3 days. Okay. So yes, and welcome everybody. Thank you guys all so much for being here. And let me, okay, I don't want to give you the worksheet yet because yes, Kimberly, I will do that, my friend, because my daughter might have to leave and go unlock my house. Just a minute. Let me make you co-host. You're so awesome. Okay, we got 2 co-hosts now. Good. Usually Celine helps me, but she actually is in a leadership training right now. So my daughter, and then now we have Kimberly helping. I just love my community so much. How everybody works together. It's awesome. So what I want to really start with today, okay? And 2 things I need from you is grab a piece of paper, pen, because you're going to want to, I'm going to give you some questions that we are going to spend time on today, okay? And then I want you to write those down because we're going to need them for tomorrow, okay? Now, many of you have participated, are going to participate in the VIP. Here's the cool part about the VIP. First of all, you get access to the replays, but the second part is when I go into VIP with you, we're going to land all this. It's going to make complete sense. And then I'm going to have many of you send me your worksheets because our guest speaker is going to use you as examples. So that's priceless, right? So again, if you're not part of VIP, you might want to think about being part of VIP because that's what I'm going to do. And I will not get off the phone with you, the call with you tomorrow or today until we have complete clarity because it's going to be important for tomorrow, okay? So I just wanted to make that very clear. Let me get this pulled up here. So that's why taking notes is so important because this is going to help the guest speaker help you more, okay? Because you will be all of the examples he's going to use in the AI, in everything. So some of you, if he uses your examples, he'll literally have content that he can literally give to you, right? It's going to be awesome. So I just put the VIP link in there if you guys want to do that, okay? And so I just want to go over a few things with you before I give you the worksheet because we're not ready for the worksheet. I need to get you prepared for that. But here's the thing that I see. Okay. I'm going to reverse engineer this, by the way. So we're not going to start this with this 3-day workshop with who is your ideal customer? How old are they? That we're not, because that's been the problem. We have to get rid of the problem before we can have the solution, okay? And so one of the problems I see is people know who their perfect customer is, but they're talking about the process and they're not taking the time to live in the minds of their ideal customer. They're more worried about what to say and how to say it. And that is one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make when they're crafting their message, is they forget that their ideal customer is a human just like them, just like you. Right? So sometimes I think, and this is something that drives me nuts, they are not a niche. Stop saying that. They're a human just like you. They want hope just like you. Right? And so when I hear people say, I can't find my niche, I can't find my niche, what's my niche? Stop. They're just a human, right? So I really want you to understand this, right? They are tired. How many of you have been tired, right? They are doubting themselves, right? They are looking for hope. They're not looking to be sold. They're not looking for the next best thing. They're looking for hope. That's one of the things that I did when I launched my business. I just became the hope dealer. And I would say, I hope today somebody sees a different perspective. I hope today, and I just would literally say that over and over and over. I hope today. And when you literally stop creating content to make money and you start creating content to serve a human just like you, watch what happens in your content. It's not about a 45-year-old depressed mom. It's not about that. It is about you giving that 45-year-old depressed mom the hope. Help them to stop doubting themselves. This is huge, by the way, right? And you got to stop looking at them as a niche. They're not. Your niche is the industry you're in, by the way. Like if you're in weight loss, that's your niche. You know, if you're in online businesses, that's your niche, right? Your avatar is not. Your avatar is a human. This is so important. I want you to think about this. They are sitting at 10:30 at night on their couch trying to figure things out. That's them. They're wondering, are things ever going to change? How many of you can relate to that? When you shift your mindset to that, watch how everything changes. You struggle with your content because you kind of became so robotic with it, just getting it done, instead of realizing the moment you step into grabbing your phone and just having a conversation, like you're FaceTiming someone, or like what I like to do is when I've never put the, oh, there it is. Like I will literally, when I have here, I pretend like I'm sitting on the couch and they're just across from me and I'm just having a conversation. I never look at my content like I'm posting a video. I treat 100% of my content like I'm having a conversation with someone. And the moment that shift happens in your business is the moment every single thing changes, by the way. Because your ideal customer is ready for a change. So your job with creating content is not to share the strategy. It's not the process. It's not the steps. It's not the framework. Buyers don't buy the process. They buy hope. People are going to buy from you when they see hope, not the 3 steps, because that's more work. It's the outcome that you need to help them see. So I want you to, when we're working on who your ideal customer is today, I want you to step into this. They're just a human, just like you, right? They're tired. They're ready for a change, but dang it, they're doubting themselves. Maybe they've tried things before and they've failed. No matter what industry you're in, that's the way it is, right? They're looking because something didn't work before. If it's weight loss, if it's mindset, whatever it is, right? It just is. And they're looking for hope. They're really looking for hope. And what's going on in the world today, this is in more demand than it ever has been, my friend. So the moment you look at this and you literally just like, man, I just want to serve people. You've got to get out of that mindset of selling and go into serving, okay? It's so important to do that. So there are two types of content creators. Now, I want you to be really real with yourself right now. And I want you to look at these and think, which one are you? Are you process focused or are you person focused? There's two types of creators. Now, unfortunately, it's easy to go to process, right? That's just easy. Here are the 5 steps. Here's my method. Here's what I do. Like that's easy to kind of like flow. But a person focused, right? And I'm going to go to that. Is, I know you feel stuck, right? I know you're tired of trying things. I know you're scared. Maybe you're scared it's not going to work. Or maybe you're scared your family's going to make fun of you. When you pull in empathy, people stop their scroll. Okay? When you pull in empathy, people don't follow steps. They follow leaders who understand them. That's the shift, my friend. They follow leaders who understand them. You have to lead people. Like you have to lead people. I can give you an example. For some of you who don't know, I have a huge community of 59,000 people. Many of them are on here today. And there's some people in my community having massive success. Same program, same process, same automated systems, same website, same social media, having massive success. And some aren't. What's the difference? This. If you look at the people in my community that have made even a good 5 figures on a consistent basis, but really a good 6 figures, it's this. They are so people focused and they lead people. Now, many of you might think, but I'm not a leader, Michelle. Yes, you are. There's some area in your life you've led. If you're a man and you've ever had a girlfriend or a spouse, you're a leader. You led them to believe in you to marry you. If you're a mom and you've ever had a child, you are a leader. You've led them to, they're still alive, right? There's so many areas. If you have a dog, you're a leader because you probably potty trained the dog and you got the dog to have good behaviors. Like there's areas in your life. If you have a job, there's an area in your life to have that job. You've had to lead. And that could be lead yourself to go to work and show up every day. So every single human on this planet has leadership qualities. And the moment you become a person focused and realized that you are just leading people to that destination that they want to go to. Does this make sense? Let me know in the comments. Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. Does this make sense? Yes. Yes, good. Because that's it, right? Now, how many of you the first 16 minutes we've been on here, you've seen a little bit of it or having a little bit of a shift? Let me know in the comments. Yes, good. Okay, good. Can you imagine? This is only 15 minutes into a 3-day workshop. Aren't you glad you're here? Yes, I'm so glad you're here, right? Because this is huge. Okay, this is absolutely huge. People don't follow steps, they follow leaders who understand them. I always say to people, if you're out there trying to be the loudest and the proudest on social media, people are like, oh, okay. But if you're out there trying to show people that you understand them, that's what will stop their scroll. People do business with people that they feel understood by. Because you know why this is so important in today's world? Because we are in a trust economy. We are in that trust economy. So people have to trust you before they want to get inside your automations. This, by the way, if you're on here right now and you're not building an email list, it is going to tank your income. And you'll see it even become very rapid in the next 6 months. Why? Because inside an email automations, which that's what I teach inside my program, build an email list. You know why? Because that's where you can really nurture people. That's where that trust and that connection can really be created, by the way. So it's one of the most important things. And for those of you on here that are building an email list, you will be forever grateful that you've done that. It's complete ownership. Nobody can ever take that away from you. And it gives you the ability to create content and then get them into your world to develop that trust. Because most of the time, once you can get people off of social media and into your world, your automations, where that sequence will start, the follow-up, the follow-through, where they get to know, like, and trust you, and then they buy from you, like, it compresses that time. So the goal with these next 3 days is to have you be so good with your messaging and your content that they want to get your freebie and get inside your automations. Okay, so important. Right? So important. So let's go, because here we go. Ready? This is where we're going to need the pen, by the way. So we're going to do a little bit of a different type of exercise today, because this exercise is, instead of like, we'll write down your perfect customer and their pain points. We'll get to that in a little bit, possibly, but the thing we need to focus on right now is this: live in their mind exercise. So I want you to get into their mind, because each and every one of you have done something to understand a little bit who your perfect customer is. And if you're brand new and you don't know about your perfect customer, you will by the end of this. I'm just reverse engineering it, because I really want to pull the emotional empathy side out, because that is what helps in this trust economy we live in. So first is, so I want you to focus on this, and you maybe need to write it on your piece of paper. Empathy. People buy because of emotions, by the way. They don't buy because of the work that they have to do. Like, let me give you an example. People go get a job on an emotional state. Like, yeah, this job will pay the bills, right? They don't think about all the work they're going to have to do at the job or the hours away from their family. They think, I need this, it will pay my bills. Okay, so you think about that. Now, first question is, what is your ideal customer thinking about at 10 p.m.? What are they thinking about at 10 p.m.? They're trying to watch TV, they're trying to decompress, get their mind off of it, but what's really just in there? And write this on your piece of paper. And what are they worried about? Like, what are they worried about? Now, if you have several things, that's good. This is just going to help you create more content that is empathetic to their situation. Okay. And what are they replaying in their head? I want you to think about you, like, what are the things that have replayed in your head over and over and over until like it completely fatigues or exhausts you? You know, like, there's got to be a better way. There has to be. And that is in whatever category you're in, by the way. Right? This is so important. And what are they doubting? And maybe this is, what are they doubting in themselves? What are they doubting out there in the industry? There's many different sides to what are they doubting. I call this exercise, when you live in their mind, I also call this a little bit of a brain dump. You're literally just, but you don't look at it as, like, let me go back, because this is important. Like, what is your ideal customer thinking about at 10 p.m.? Financial freedom. No, they're not. You sit around and be like, oh, I want financial freedom. Now you think about, oh my gosh, another month I couldn't pay my credit cards off and the interest rate. Pretty soon I'm just going to be paying interest. Right? Or, oh, I wanted to retire in the next 3 years and I don't even look even close like I'm going to be able to retire. It's not time or financial freedom. That's the byproduct. You got to get deep in their emotions. And the easiest way to do this is understanding this. Your ideal customer is just a version of you. You're the most relatable to that version. Yep, we all have many versions, right? Like, I'm a mom of 6. I could talk to younger moms. I could talk to older moms. Like, there's so many different versions. But what is that version, that human that you would love to give hope to, that you could totally dive into this because you've been there, you've lived it? Because when you've lived through what's in their mind, you know how connected your content will be. And when you're creating a piece of content and you're showing someone, I used to sit on the couch at 10 o'clock at night and wonder how much longer I'm going to be able to barely get by and I can't even pay my credit cards off. How many more months do I have to be able to do that? And if somebody is living that exact same life right now and they see that piece of content, they're going to be like, somebody gets me. Wow. And in their mind, they're like, wow, I really feel seen by who is this person? Like, they get me, they understand me. That's what you want to do. It's not because you're like, I have a 4-step process I can help you. That's what you share after you get them in your world. That's what the automations are going to do for you. And that you got to get them to trust you so they want to get into your world. Like, that's what is so important. So these are so important to take a deep dive into these. Don't overthink it because you've experienced it on some level. Okay. This is why at first, when you're creating content and you haven't built a brand yet, it's good to, like, when I first launched into digital marketing in September of 2022, it was easy for me to speak to moms. And I literally just branded that to a point that when I started going live, I had a gentleman get on my live who was a dad, and he goes, hey, what about us dads? Can we do this? He literally thought it was just a program for moms because I got that good with my message. Now, because I built a brand, I've been able to open that up a little bit, but you need to start small. And this is where a lot of people in their mind, they struggle because they're in their mind, they're like, but if I start small, I'm not going to get a lot of customers. No, actually, you're going to get more because you're relatable. Once you start building that brand, then that changes. Then you can expand it a little bit. Like, I went from just talking to moms to now families. So it's not just because you start somewhere doesn't mean that's not where you're going to end. Okay, I just want you to know that because that's important. That being so like defined right now while you're building your brand and building your following, building your email list, this is important. Because now once you understand all of this, you could go in and literally create the most amazing newsletters. Edit your email automations geared towards these steps that I'm going to give you, because there's 3 different steps that I'm going to be covering with you. Okay. And these are all different content ideas, which again, we're going to help you take all of these tomorrow on the next day and turn that into content and email types as well. Okay. So here's step 1. Step 2. What are they afraid to admit? What are they afraid to admit? Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I'm too old. Maybe I'm an introvert. Maybe it's because I don't like tech. Like, think about the drowning thoughts that actually go through somebody's mind before they make a decision to go to the next step to learn. It's those drowning thoughts that will drown them and make them not make a decision. If you can raise awareness to those thoughts and help them feel understood by you, they're going to want to learn more from you. I can promise you, it's not you doing fancy videos. That's you just trying to get ridiculous awareness. There's no connection in doing fancy videos or these crazy graphic videos I see people do. I'm like, what are you guys doing? If they're on the couch at 10 p.m. at night, completely depressed, overwhelmed, felt guilty, and they see you making a funny video and then you want to help them make money, they're going to think you're a joke. There's no empathy there. You guys, be careful. Be careful. And what a waste of time. Think about it. If you're broke, you're depressed, maybe your wife is about ready to leave you or your husband's about ready to leave you, and you fight about money all the time, and you see a funny video of somebody punching themselves or doing or rolling, are you going to take them serious? Like, let me know in the comments. Like, let's just be real and raw right now. Would you take them serious? No. You might chuckle and be like, oh, that's cute. Right? Because you had one moment that you didn't think about your life and where you're at. But instead of wasting your time on creating a crafty video you think is going to convert, which it's not, if you literally did that exact same energy and you were sitting in a chair and you were like, it's 10 p.m. at night, your spouse is in the other room because you just were fighting over money, and you don't want to get another job because that's less time with the family, and you wouldn't even make enough money at another part-time job to get out of your situation. So what do you do? What do you think is going to work more? A silly video or that? I would actually do that sitting on a couch. Help them like see it. Visually see you setting up a couch. Maybe your hands down like this, like, guys, I've been here. I've been where you are right now. I've slept in the other room from my spouse because we fought about money all night. You realize if you're going after a married couple that are fighting constantly because of money, and if they hear your video right there, they're like, me and my wife aren't the only one, or me and my spouse aren't the only one. They get me. Who is this person? They're going to click on your profile and want to learn more. But if you go to funny and salesy and pitchy, there's no trust economy in that. There is, and I'll get you the exact information, but there's this person on, gosh, boom, I'm trying to get all the info, the exact, anyway, I'll just give you a little bit of the text of it, but they have like a huge following on TikTok. Like huge, like several 100,000 followers. Because they do cutesy videos, they do funny stuff. Not making a dime. A dime. Oh, well, they have stuff to sell. Not making a dime. But see, they got caught in that vain matrix of, oh, this video got 20,000 views. This is awesome. Who cares? I would rather get 200 views and 5 people in my automations. Because when you're that niched down like that in your industry, not human, but in your category, and with your ideal customer, you'll get less views because they're better quality. Right? Your goal isn't to go viral. Your goal is to create content to be understood. Right? Your customer to feel understood by you. That's the goal. But can you imagine, like, you show up every day on social media and you have over 200,000 views and you're not one customer? You might think they're having success, They're not one customer. But if you look at the content, they're funny, they're silly, they're using these crazy graphics that they think is going to work. There's no empathy in that. The empathy is in that let's just have this conversation right now. Let's just have a hard conversation right now. And I got you. I can have this hard conversation with you. You know why? Because I've been there. I've been there, right? So if you can, what are they afraid to admit? And if you say, do you feel like maybe you're not cut out for this? Or what if I get on social media and what if my friends see me and I don't have success? I'm already dealing with my wife disappointed in me because we're not making money. We're fighting all the time. I don't ever get to see my kids. And then you want me to go on social media? What if my friends see me, then all of a sudden I don't make money? Can you imagine creating a piece of content and solving that problem for them? Do you see the difference right there? Big difference, right? When you call that out and be like, let me show you this. First of all, you realize you can go to TikTok or you can go to Instagram and you can create an account and not even follow any of your friends. You don't got to use your existing account. Use that for your personal account. And here's a little secret. If they would happen to see you on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, guess what? It's because they're interested in what you're talking about. Those people are not going to judge you. Then they're like, oh, whew, okay, that makes sense. Who are you? Click. Then they go to your profile. And if all of your stuff is literally just solving their problems, helping them feel seen, they're going to want what you have. Does this make sense? Yes, good. You're making a lot of sense. Awesome. Yes. It's that shift, my friends. It is literally that shift, right? What if I waste my time? Gosh, we've all felt that way. Again, in anything, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to buy a new, it's everything. This is not just in your category that you're in, right? This is everything. But, I remember when I launched into the digital marketing space, I was like, how long is it going to take? How long is it going to take? Right? And I said that. And then I was like, but if I keep on doing what I'm doing, I'm not getting anywhere. And then I had to do the flip, right? What if this wastes my time? I'm like, what's the worst case scenario? You learn digital marketing, you learn email marketing, you learn attraction marketing. I mean, the digital world's not going anywhere. I mean, if I can live with the worst case, it's really not wasting my time. Imagine creating a piece of content like that. So you want to do something different, but you don't have a lot of time. You've tried things before and you're like, gosh, if I do one more thing, is it going to waste my time? Can I give you the worst case scenario here? What could happen if you tried one more time? You just became their hope dealer with that, by the way. You just became their hope dealer. Then you say, what's the worst case scenario? You learn skills that nobody can take away from you, that can help you build legacy wealth. Then they're all gonna be like, I feel good, okay. Who is this person? Like, click on your profile. That's how the customer journey begins, my friend. That's how. It's great to call them out. Are you 45-year-old depressed mom? That's great. But what's better is when you start with their pains and give them the solution. Right? So you're in your 40s, you're stressed and you're like, gosh, if I try one more thing, is it going to waste my time? Have you ever said that? Have you ever said that at 10:30 at night when you're sitting on the couch trying to watch a TV show to try to get your mind away from the exhaustion and the stress and the guilt you have? Now that's relatable. That's relatable. right? And you can share those types of stories, my friend, because you've been there. And when you start creating content like that, it becomes fun. And you know what? You become known for something. You're known for that hope dealer, for your perfect customer. And then your heart smiles when they bought from you. Okay? So that's step 3. What do they secretly hope? What do they hope? Like, let's get deep here. They don't hope for financial freedom. They don't hope for time freedom. What do they hope for? Never missing moments. Never having to open their app in their bank account to see if they can even go through the drive-through. What do they secretly hope for? That they can be that family that is on a vacation over spring break instead of scrolling on Facebook, watching other people? Like, what do they secretly hope for? This is, I want this to work. You know you want to do something different, or you wouldn't be scrolling on social media looking for a way to make an income online. Imagine that hook. They're like, yeah, you're right. I mean, why would they be looking on social media for a way to make an income online if they weren't secretly hoping it would work? They wouldn't. Their algorithms would be completely somewhere else. Do you realize when somebody sees your content, it's because the algorithms push that content? And if it is in weight loss, they want to lose weight. If it is in online business, it's because they're looking, or they've tried things before, but they secretly hope that it will work, right? I want to feel proud. I can't tell you how many times when I do a live event that's said, I want to feel proud, I want to feel confident, I want to feel worthy. You guys, those are the 3 biggest things. And you would have had no idea. It's huge. And now that I've grown a big community to 59,000, it's a lot. I even hear gentlemen say, I want to make my children proud. I work all the time. I'm stressed. I don't spend a lot of time with them. I still have to tell them no. I want to make them proud. I want to make my spouse proud. I want to have those relationships again that I don't have. That's the type of content when you create will stop the scroll. That's it. It's those emotional connections that is going to absolutely stop the scroll. See, here's the thing, my friend. Your content should speak to their thoughts, not your program. Your thoughts, not the process, not this. It's their thoughts. It's those thoughts that they have. Now, what I love is when I'm speaking to a family, a busy family that's like, I really need to do something. I need this to work, but I truly don't have the time. There is no way I can add more to my schedule. How many times have you said that? That's why inside our program, we show you a 2-hour workflow that you could do 30 minutes before work, 30 minutes over your lunch hour, an hour after your kids go to bed. That's the idea. We do not want you spending hours and hours and hours on social media. Do you see the difference? I pulled in their thoughts first, then I helped paint the picture. Oh, well, that would work. Okay. That makes sense. But that's after they recognize that I understood them. Right? You have to give them a reason to want to listen more. Instead of like, man, we have the best program, we make 100% profit, 2-hour workflow, it's awesome. All that is great. But it's like, why do they care about that? Why do they care about that? They care about it because they're sick and tired at 10:30 at night sitting on the couch. And their spouse is in the other room because they just had a fight over the bills. How many of you have had a fight over a $12 purchase? Like you guys are that you're that broke that you fought over $12. But you know it's not the $12, right? It's the fact that both of you are disappointed that you don't have the money and you have to fight over $12. But you're like, what do? We can't add more. We already work all the time. We've completely disconnected. It's like we're roommates instead of spouses. But you're looking. You're watching this video because you're looking and you're just secretly hoping that there's something out there that would work for you. But you don't have the time. You know, that's one of the things that really attracted me to this program because there's a 2-hour workflow. It's geared towards lives like you. Imagine if you could follow a process step by step that didn't take a lot of time to learn, and you followed it, and it was automated so you could make money when you're working or when you're sleeping, and you started making $900 off of a customer. What if you made $1,400 off a customer? How many $1,400 customers a month would you need for you and your spouse not to fight over a $12 purchase on the debit card? Do you guys see the difference with that? Do you see how you pulled in their situation and then you agitated the problem? You showed them that you get them and then you gave them the solution. Right? And for those of you in my Legacy Builders program, I have given you so much content. That's why you need the replays, right? So you can grab all this because you literally can take it towards your perfect customer and just shift it a little bit, right? I'm just kind of being more generic, but I would pull in, I mean, I said spouse and things like that, right? And I would say that, I would literally say children, you know what I mean? Like, I bet it's pretty across the universe, right? Just pull in your niche just a little bit, right? Your perfect customer. But this is it. But I was shocked with this. Like that was probably my biggest eye opener these last few years. How many people like, I just want to feel worthy. Or I want to feel confident. You know why you're not confident? Because you beat yourself up at 10:30 at night sitting on the couch. Or you've beat yourself up because you woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're like, you couldn't go back to bed because you're like stressed and you feel like you're on that hamster wheel and nothing's changing. That's content, by the way. That's when people are going to be like, oh, okay. And Faceless works this way. The reason why Faceless doesn't work is because you're not pulling in the emotion. There's no empathy. There's none. It's as simple as this. Like you do a picture that shows emotion and the music has to match it. You're going to learn that these next few days, by the way. And that's it. People can read these words on the screen and be like, oh, yeah, heck yeah, I would love for something to work. I don't know any human on this planet that if they could be their own boss, set their own hours, and make more from their phone than they do at a job, wouldn't want to do it. I don't know any human that wouldn't want to learn how to live life on their terms and make more money from their phone than at a job, right? But they're not going to be sold because you're sharing the process. They're going to be sold because they feel seen by you. They have to feel seen by you. And the quickest way to do it is based off of these 3 steps. Like, if you can take the time to go deep into this, your entire content will change. We get so worried. We spend so much energy on the views, the da 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 da. Spend on these 3 steps I just gave you and watch what happens to your content in 90 days. You know, I love social media. There's 5+ billion people on social media. Love it. Like, we've never lived in such an amazing time in our life to use platforms for free that people hang out on to find our perfect customer. But until we can master this, there's no money to follow, right? Because there's 5 billion people. How are you going to stand out? What I've just shared with you will help you stand out in a way that you can't even imagine. This is why you see people that do content that are a hot mess express, but they're making good money because they're just so relatable. You don't have to be polished. You just have to be trusted. And they trust you when you talk about this stuff. And then you share a little bit more. Like, in a trust economy, they need this now more than ever, by the way, my friend. Okay? So we're going to do a little bit of a messaging shift. I want to give you this formula, okay? And it's this: thoughts, emotion, hope, invite. Which, how many of these have I done with you guys? Right? I just flowed it. But the thought, right? Well, how did I start that? Sitting on the couch at 10:30 at night, right? How did I pull in the emotion? Your spouse is in the other room. You're fighting over $12 sale on the debit card. It's not the $12. It's the fact that you didn't have the money to have the $12 and you're both frustrated because you don't have. Then you give hope. Like, that's it. If you just can master this and then you go into the invite, I might have your solution. But if you continue to scroll, you'll never know. Check it out. Right? There's so many different invites that you can do. Just don't go from like empathy, compassion to hard on the invite. Like, just check it out. If you're interested, great. If you're not, great. At least you can check it off that it's just not what you're looking for. That's one less thing you have to think about. And then here, this is a no-no. No, don't do this. Here's how my system works. You guys, that doesn't work. That does not work. You literally have to stop this. You got to do this. I know you feel, how do they feel? Sit on the couch 10 o'clock at night. I know you feel frustrated. I know you feel disappointed. Overwhelmed. What is that trigger word? Your perfect customer has a trigger word. They do. What I mean by that, like guilty, overwhelmed, stressed. I love when I hear stay-at-home moms say, like, I don't want all the financial burden on my husband. That's so good. That's this. That's that messaging shift. Because you know how many other stay-at-home moms are like, yeah, that's me. Then when you pull in those other 3 steps, man, you got it. But that's the thought. That's the thought, right? Then what's the emotion behind that? Then you give the hope, and then you do the invite, right? Okay. Then, here's the hope. It doesn't have to say that way. Then you share how it does it. Here's what's possible, right? And here's how I help. Like, this is huge process. Huge, completely change how you literally have conversations with your perfect customer on social media. This is it. Instead of like, here's the 4 steps that you need. They're not going to listen to your 4 steps until they understand that you see them. Because in their mind, if they're hearing 3 steps or 4 steps, they're like, who are you? You don't even know me. But if you talk about, sitting on the couch at 10:30 at night and your spouse is in the room because you're fighting over money and you don't know what you're going to do, then they feel seen by you. Like maybe you're talking to people that are ready to retire or want to retire in the next 3 years. And maybe they had a lot of their money in stocks. They're like, oh yeah. So did your retirement just cut in half? That's the relatable stuff. Then you can go, like you go into that. It's huge. Okay, now. Ready? We're going to use our brain. We're going deep now, right? And so, surface problem. This is what they say out loud. People's surface problem is completely different than what's in their head. We all know that. Right? So, what is that surface problem? What do they say out loud? Stay-at-home mom. I don't like that my husband has all the financial burden. Right? Or sick and tired of fighting with my wife. We're sick and tired of being broke. But what's that deeper frustration? What they feel inside. You know what that deeper frustration is? If a guy is like that, said that, you know the deeper frustration is? I never thought I would be a spouse or a father that would be in this position. They feel regret. They feel failure. They don't understand. They're frustrated. When you can get in that deeper frustration, they trust you. It's not because you've made money. It's because they feel understood by you. For those of you that think you're not getting sales because you're not making money, that's the problem. You're thinking about you. You're not thinking about them. Every single person on this entire planet that starts any business, if it's a Starbucks, if it's a McDonald's, if it's a Target, if it's an online business, have zero customers the moment they open their business. Okay? Zero. Everybody starts with zero. And most people, when they launch an online business, are a mess. But here's what they do. They take that mess and they turn it into their message of hope to their ideal customer. Instead of trying to be polished and primed and being perfect. Nobody wants that, or being silly, like we talked earlier. There's no trust built in that. There just isn't, my friend. There just isn't. The core emotional pain. What keeps them up at night? There's 3 layers. Another great way to do this is, and it sometimes it's easier to do this, and I've actually done this before on trainings, and it's like, why does your perfect customer want to make money from home or online? Why? And people always say, well, you know, they want financial freedom. You know, they're sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck. Why? The next layer of why, it goes into their deeper frustration. Why are they sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Because they thought they would have more money to make more memories. But why? Why does that matter? Because they envisioned their life as a dad or as a father, being able to make these memories with their kids and not have to financially have burdens. Do you see how I just said why? Why? And if you even go deeper with the why, it even gets more intense. So that's something, if you're struggling with these, just say why, because that pulls in the emotion. And that's everything. That is absolutely everything. But these are such huge parts that are really missing. Like, I help working moms, 30 to 40, make money online, make money from home so they have more time with their family. That is so vague and so generic. But the moment you literally like, okay, what would be a problem of a 30 to 40-year-old mom that has a full-time job, really, really, really wants what? What is that surface problem that they want? And what is the deeper frustration that they want? And what is the core emotional pain point that's waking them up in the middle of the night and they can't get back to sleep? And you know, this is also a good thing, right? Because a lot of people like they're drowning in credit card debt. Okay, surface problem. I'm drowning in credit card debt. What will be the deeper frustration of that? I work a full-time job, 40 hours. By the time I travel and commute, I'm away from my family 50 hours, and I'm broke. I have a career. I have a college education, and I'm broke. Do you see the deeper? That's what will start speaking to them. What's that core emotional pain? The fact that I'm in my 40s, I have a college degree, I've had a job for 15 years, and I'm broke. Oh my gosh, is my family, am I gonna get, is this generational struggle gonna continue for generations? How can I change it? What can I do? Is there a solution? Do you see how I went deeper into that? Like, that's it. But you take that surface one that they're talking about, but it's that internal stuff that when you pull out, that literally will just, you will shake people to their core where they will be like, that's me. Like, that's me. That's the guilt I deal with. Like, are they in my head? How do they understand me so well? Then you're going to get that email and they're going to be like, I swear you're in my head right now. And you reply back, I am, because you are my perfect customer. I have your solution. They love you. They trust you. When the time is right, they're buying from you. You know, I love email automations. And one of the things I do when I get a customer is I go inside my system and I see how long they've been inside my system. I literally in January had a gentleman buy from me that had been in my email automations 3 years, 2 months. Wild, right? He never left because he felt understood by me. And when the timing was right, over the weekend, they had been in my email automations 2 years. You know, and then you get the ones that buy in 2 days or 3 days. But that's the power of email automations. Like, it just creates a consistent, predictable income stream. The longer you build it, the more solid that predictable income stream gets. But they'll stay in your automations because you understand their pain points. It's pretty cool, right? Next, where are they right now in their life? Like right now, where are they? Okay, where do they want to be? So let me give you another example, right? Maybe right now in their life, they're a soon-to-be grandma for the first time, but their new grandbaby lives 3 states away, and they financially don't have the money to travel or the time to take off of work to travel, and they can't afford an airline ticket to go for the weekend. What do they want? They want to have the ability to go see their new grandbaby at any time. If you're soon to be grandma, you want to be able to be there and wait for the baby, like be there for your daughter or your daughter-in-law before the baby comes, and be in that town with them when the baby's born. Why are you the right person to guide this customer? Oh, because I was actually in the labor room when many of my grandchildren were born. I could feel that pain. My one daughter, actually, you guys, she was living in Texas. And so luckily it was over the summer, man. I scooped my kids up. We went there 2 weeks ahead of time. We were waiting for little Theo to be born. Like that was important. So I can definitely talk to that grandma, that soon to be grandma, because I've been there. Right? Here's the thing though. This is what will craft your $1 million message, by the way. And again, why are you the right guide for the person? Here's why I use the word guide. Because if I would have said, are you the right person for them to buy from? Buy from you, you would immediately turned the thought process that we've had the last hour, you would have turned to sales. But when you look at it as I'm just guiding them, and the way you can guide them is because you know and you can relate to them. You know and you can relate to them. Here's another huge question. This, my friends, is the difference of you having massive success or not, by the way. It is. What have you lived? I did share that with you. Learned or built that qualifies you to be able to serve them or help them or support them or understand them. This is huge and nobody takes the time to answer that. Like what qualifies you? What did I just share? Right? Because I'm a grandma and my daughter did live in a different state and I was going to be there. Luckily, it was over the summer. I packed my kids up that were still at home. We went. Like, I can relate. So if I share that story, then they're like, that's relatable. Like, oh, that's what I want. You can show me how to get that. It has nothing to do with my program. It has to do with that I was qualified to understand and relate to them at a level that the average person couldn't. Does that make sense? Like, let me know in the comments. Is this landing for you guys? Good, good. Because this is huge. This is absolutely huge. This is what I want you to spend. These two things right here is what I want you to spend a lot of time with, okay? We're going to need them by tomorrow. I mean, all of it, all these questions are important, but these are really important. What happens, my friend, when you focus on these two, guess what happens? You literally will raise your standards and you will realize you have the authority. And it will completely change your positioning with your content to your customer. And you will never again grab your phone going, I don't know, man. I don't know what to talk about. I'm just going to go outside for a little bit. How many of you have done that before, right? But you won't anymore when you understand that you're like, no, I'm qualified to help them. And it has nothing to do with your success, it has everything to do with your understanding of them. That's all I really care about is you getting that today. And I can promise you, if you're creating content and you're like, in your content, it's because you don't feel qualified. And I can promise you, you are. This is why when I look at my huge program, my Legacy Builders program, not one person competes. They never will, because everybody has a little bit of a different understanding of the perfect customer that they can solve. It's in everything. It's this. when you know that you are the right guide for them, you are going to show up with clarity and confidence that you literally can get home from work and put water on the stove to boil, baby. You can grab your phone and create a piece of content and be done because you have authority, because you know why you qualify and you can help them. It's truly that simple. You just have to take a deep dive. Like, we have a gentleman in my big community, and by the way, he's struggling, but he's uncoachable. Just being real and raw with you guys right now. And he wants to talk to moms. First of all, you're a man. And you're not going to relate to the pressure, the guilt, the frustration that a mom goes through. Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, I can. I'm like, okay. Why don't you just talk to dads? Because you can relate. He goes, well, I'm not even a dad. I'm like, so you want to talk to moms and you're not even a parent? Like, why are you making this so hard? Why not just speak to guys that don't have any kids, but why are you doing this? And he told me exactly why. I'm like, dude, there's your story. He's still trying to create content. And I noticed the other day he made a comment on somebody in my community having success on her post. I'm like, interesting, but he still thinks he can talk to women. Now, with all that being said, once you establish authority and you've built authority with one audience, yes, you can expand. Because when you start growing an audience, they start telling you things and you can expand because you built that brand, you built that authority. But at first, when you go and you grow, you need to do it in a perfect customer that you could get in their head. And this is how you do it. See, he was thinking going after a mom, because he even said it. He goes, I mean, I see all the moms in here having success, so that's the low-hanging fruit. I'm like, no, they're having success because they're getting customers, because this is how. This is how. Right? So when I launched, my message was literally like helping moms. The pain point is where they are now. They have to take a calculator to the grocery store again. Right? Where do they want? They don't want to take a calculator to the grocery store. They don't want to have to look at their bank account to do things. Like, I literally talked to them on the core, and how they felt. And I got so good with that message. But then when I started building authority and building brand, and I showed up differently with my content, it was attracting men as well that were dads, because they could relate to a lot of what I said, because their wife had to take a calculator to the grocery store, or they had to discuss to buy things, right? Or just, I don't know what we can do this weekend. Let's look at our bank account, right? And that's when they told me, they gave me permission to expand. Let's put it that way, right? Because I had a gentleman on my live and he's like, what about us dads? At that moment, I was like, I built enough authority that I can go to families. I knew that because they had asked. The moment somebody asks is, you've done a good job. That's all it takes. So just get so laser focused on mastering this with one, and watch how everything changes. This. This is what you need to bring back tomorrow, by the way, okay? This is it. My ideal customer is blank. Who is struggling with blank? They're struggling with what? And I help them move from blank to blank. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you think this is going to be easier to do now after what we just worked on? Yeah. Big difference, right? Big difference. Okay, so let me give you the worksheet for today. So let me ask you this question while I'm grabbing the worksheet for you. What was your biggest shift that you had today? Like, listening to this, what was your biggest shift? Okay, let me put that doc in here. Go deeper. Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, the silly videos. Yeah. Like if you want to do silly videos, just do them on your personal account. But can you now let's just with love right now, let's just be real. Let's imagine that, your ideal customers just woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and they look over at their spouse and they feel like they let her down and they're awake and they're like trying to fight back the tears and they grab their phone and they see a silly video. Do you think that's going to make them want to get in your automations? Or what if they've seen a video that says, so it's in the middle of the night and you're awake and you looked over at your wife and you just want to hug her and say, man, I feel like I've let you down. That can change today. You're seeing this video for a reason. What do you think makes a bigger impact? That funny video or you literally having a conversation with somebody that is looking for hope? Right? So just be careful with that. It's the emotion that will definitely pull them in. Yeah. It absolutely will. Yeah, literally having the conversation is everything. And the moment you, and here's another thing that you guys can really do when you audit your content, like look at your content and say, is that how do I like hesitant? Do I look uncomfortable when I'm having conversations with people that I truly care about? And if the answer is no, then work on some of this stuff. Like work on some of this stuff. And I think one of the best things on this, and that worksheet I just gave you that has all this on it, right? Is this one right here. Is this. These are huge, by the way. Absolutely huge. Because this is easy, right? And then this takes a little bit more internal thought process, right? Because you're like getting in their head. And then this, the core emotion, pain, the moment you can pull that out and show them like, come here, I got you, I got your solution. I can guide you through how we can solve all this. The moment you change and your content goes that way is the moment you'll grow an authority, you'll build a brand of your raving fans, of the ideal people that you want to follow or that you want to have follow you. That's in everything. So these are huge. You guys, there can be a lot. And can I tell you something really fun with this? Every season this changes, by the way. So this is ongoing process in your business, by the way. So for example, let's go back to October, November. What was the surface problem? Here we go, holidays again. Have to put everything on a credit card or not enough money, right? That's the surface problem. What's the deeper frustration? I cannot believe that we have to get a Christmas tree that's a foot shorter because we don't have the money. I can't believe I have to tell my kids no again about going to that Christmas parade. What's that core emotional pain? I never saw my life like this as a mom before I was going to have kids. So that's the holidays. Okay, now where are we now? We're in the end of February. What happened? What happens next week or next month? I guess it is next week. Spring break. Surface problem. Well, can't afford another vacation again. Another year, no more vacation. What are they deep frustrated? So frustrating that I have to scroll on social media and see all these other families having all these fun trips. What's the core emotion? Gosh, I'm a failure. Like, how did I get here? Like, how can I not even take my kids on a vacation? So 10 years from now, we can talk about it. Instead, I'm going to have to ask my kid 10 years from now, do you remember what we watched on Netflix? Do you see the difference? Right? So then what happens after that? It depends on who your audience is, right? I'm just giving examples. After that, it could be summer. No money for do things this summer. It's all in seasons. So this always is evolving. So that's why you'll never, ever run out of things to talk about in your content. Never. So I always do this. Like every single month, I actually do it. And how can I pivot a little bit? Okay, then right after Christmas, boom, what do we go into? Okay, surface problem. Okay, I couldn't do everything I wanted to do for Christmas. This New Year's going to be different, right? What's actually the deeper frustration? I set goals last year. I didn't achieve them. I'm actually broker last year than I was the year before. I refuse to be that broke again. What's the deeper emotional problem? I have to figure this out. I'm emotionally drained. I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm very disappointed in myself. There has to be a better way. But you guys, it's almost every month you can pivot this a little bit to where you're hanging with them in the seasons in their life. That's why you'll never run out of ideas to what to talk about. As long as you hang in this, you just never will. Yeah, just never will. So, yeah, kids sports, like if you're a mom, I mean, there's so many, right? And like to me, I think of like stay-at-home moms or just families in general, like their kids are in traveling sports or things like that. What are some of the things families had to not do? Like, are you that mom that you guys had to bring food and eat in the hotel room and you couldn't go out and eat with the family? Or worse yet, you do go out or with the team, or worse yet, you do go out with the team knowing you're putting out on a credit card that you cross your fingers that it's not going to be maxed. That's that relatable stuff that they're like, yes. And then the core emotion, and you feel like crap and you feel guilty. First of all, we got to get this out of the way. That doesn't define you. When you look and you lean in on a piece of content like that, doesn't define you. Then they love you because they're like, oh man, I needed to hear that. I really needed to hear that today. That's how you are like that purple cow and you stand out. Like I'm from Kansas, right? And when I go back to my hometown, like there's cows all around. I don't notice them anymore. But I'll tell you what, if I go back to my hometown and I saw a purple cow on that field, I'm pulling over. I'm like, well, why is there a purple cow? When you become that purple cow on social media and you stand out, you'll stop the scroll. But it doesn't happen because of your program, your process. It happens because they feel understood by you. And the quickest way to get them to feel understood by you is these right here. Once you've got them in for that, then that's when you show them the solution, not the destination, the destination, which is a solution, not how they're going to get there. I always tell people all the time, people, like if you want to go on a trip, you don't spend hours looking at the airplane. All you care about is that destination. You'll spend hours on the destination. Where are we going to go? What are we going to do? We'll spend hours. So some of you, with what you sell, you spend hours on the airplane. How they're going to get there. Nobody cares how they're going to get there if they know they can get there safely. Just get me there safe. I'm good. Get me there safe. Get rid of these core emotions. If I can go 1 week and not wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I will feel amazing. Show them you're qualified to guide them to get a full night's sleep because you're going to relieve them because you have the process to help them solve this problem. Do you guys see that different shift? Huge. Huge. So, woo, I'm fired up. Yeah, good. Awesome. Okay, so we are done with day one. I know that was a lot, but we're just literally what you guys fill out, that worksheet that you guys filled out is literally going to just help tomorrow be fun because now we're going into the customer journey for 2 days. Special guests coming on to teach you guys that. And he's so good with it, by the way. Like, I will literally have my handy dandy notebook and I will be taking massive of notes. And then Thursday, he'll teach the AI. So those of you in VIP, we're going to go deeper in this because you guys actually, and I just put the worksheet back in there, by the way, if you guys didn't grab that worksheet. And then let me, for those of you that didn't get the opportunity to upgrade to VIP and you want to, because VIP, you do get the replay. And we're going to go hang out in VIP. But with VIP, what we're going to do is I'm going to help you with this, okay? And many of you, if you get your worksheet to me, we're going to use you as examples the next 2 days. So many of you are going to have a lot of your content done. Yay! Day one was amazing. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Woohoo! Great. So tomorrow, be ready. You guys bring the energy. It's going to be good. Like, I'm so excited. Like I said, there's no way this can all be done in one day. And that's why I love doing 3-day workshops every month. I do them every month. The topic is completely different. It's whatever I know is needed to help you get to the next level in your business. And there's just no way what we're teaching you can be done in one day. I want you to digest what you did today and implement it. And so you're going to need it tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be fun. So awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. And VIP, we will start in 7 minutes on the VIP room. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. The worksheets in the chat. VIP upgrade, if you want to join us, is in the chat. And I will see you guys